Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. Now before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe with the post notification button turned on so you never miss a video of ours, and that you are following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. So today sees me trying to predict where each of the 12 teams will finish this season in the WSL. Now obviously it's going to be the hardest thing ever to try and predict where 12 teams are going to finish. Anything can happen in football, but these are my 12 predictions for where each team will finish this season. So let's get underway and we'll go in reverse order. So in 12th place I have Leicester City. Now it is a full season under Lydia Bedford, who came in just before Christmas last season for Leicester City, and they managed to survive due to a poorer Birmingham City team in the WSL last season. But I do think it will be Leicester season to struggle and eventually go down to the Championship. Now obviously no team in football wants to be relegated and lose their status in the top flight. However, it has to be one, and for me I just think it will be Leicester City that are the team to go down this season. Then in 11th place I have Carla Wood's Aston Villa. Despite making some good transfers in the likes of Kenza Darley and Rachel Daly, I do think it's going to be a bit of a struggle this season for Aston Villa, and I do think that the rest of the teams that are going to be finishing just in and around them have made some really good signings and have got good players in their team already. So that's why I think Aston Villa will go down. However, I would like to say that I don't think this season's gap between the bottom two and the rest of the league will be as big as it was last season. I think it could be a really close relegation battle between the bottom few sides. So that's why it's not going to be a clear and cut relegation for Leicester City or Aston Villa finishing in 11th. I think it's going to be a close one where teams from 8th below really could finish anywhere in those positions. So it's going to be really hard, but I do think Aston Villa will finish in 11th place. Then in 10th it will be Matt Beard's Liverpool. I think they've made a really good signing in Shanice van der Sanden and Emma Koya-Visto as well, and I think managing to get Leanne Kernan and Missy Bokern signing new deals just before the start of the season is excellent business by Liverpool, and I do think they've got that more quality assured in their side that they will have a better season than Aston Villa and Leicester City respectively. So that's why I've got Liverpool finishing in 10th spot. In 9th we have Kelly Chambers' side, Reading. I think it's going to be a good year for them. They really could finish anywhere between 6th and below, Reading. So these really are like a pick of the bunch in midfield teams. It's just so hard to try and figure out who and where, but I do think some of the teams above Reading have strengthened better, hence why I've got Reading finishing in 9th place. In 8th we have Hope Powell and Brighton and Hove Albion. Really impressed by Brighton's business this season, especially bringing in Greek international Viatika Isari. However, I do think maybe losing Maya Letitia is a bit of a loss for Hope Powell's side, but I don't think it'll be too much of a loss considering they're bringing in Poppy Patterson as well. So good business by Hope Powell's side, and again I think an 8th through 6th position is not unlikely for Brighton and Hove Albion. In 7th I have West Ham United. Now obviously this will be Paul Konchesky's first season in charge of the Hammers, and really impressed by their business, managing to fully sign Lisa Evans on a permanent deal after her loan spell with Arsenal from Arsenal last year, bringing in Kirsty Smith from Manchester United as well. I think it's some really good business there by West Ham United, and I think Paul Konchesky's side will get off to a strong season and will look really formidable this year, and that's why I've just got them just below mid-table. The team I do have finishing in mid-table exactly 6th, that is Everton. Now again, Brian Sorensen is heading into his first season as Everton boss. Signing I'm really looking forward to seeing is Katju Snoosh of Bordeaux. Fantastic striker, Dutch international, knows how to score the goals, and I think we will see a much better and more recovered Everton than what we did last season. So I'm not expecting the managerial changes like that happened last season, and I'm also expecting Hannah Bennison as well, the young Swedish international, to come into her own and look really frightening this season for defences. Then in 5th we have Rhiannon Skinner's Tottenham Hotspur. Again, I think it's going to be another comfortable season for Spurs. Really good business bringing in the likes of Angahara James, Ellie Brazil, Amy Turner as well, just to give them more options throughout this team. And I think that forward line as well now is going to look really interesting to see how Rianskini gets this team mixed up. And I think this could be the year where we see a bit of a difference from below and the top 5. I do think it could potentially become a 5-way battle, not necessarily for the title, but for the other European places in England. So I've got Tottenham Hotspur finishing in 5th place. In 4th place, I have Manchester City. Now, the reason this is, I think the loss of Kira Walsh, Lucy Bronze, Georgia Stanway, and obviously the retirements of Jill Scott and Ellen White is going to be a big loss to Gareth Taylor's side. Losing quite a lot of your core players is never ideal for any manager, and Manchester City have obviously had this happen to them this season. I'm very excited by the likes of Leia Alexandri and Dana Castellanos coming into the WSL, and I think Man City will still be a strong team and be very formidable this season, but I do think losing those core players, moving on to different ventures, is a big loss for Gareth Taylor, and that's why I see Manchester City falling out of those Champions League places. In 3rd place, I have their arch rivals Manchester United finishing in 3rd. Second season under Mark Skinner. The team will obviously no longer have to get used to his tactics and everything, so they've had that full first season of getting fully introduced to how he wants to play and everything. And I think the signings that United have made this summer have been absolutely fantastic. The likes of Grace Clinton and Maya Letizia, Lucia Garcia as well are really good signings for Manchester United, and that has now created a really good core group and great depth. And I think Ella Toon and Alessia Russo will continue their fantastic summer from England duty and will bring that back into Manchester United and will have them firing on all cylinders this season. In 2nd, I have Chelsea. Now, Emma Hayes' side, I think, again, they're not going to go down without a fight and make it easy for the eventual title winners. Obviously, I've got in this case as Arsenal, and I think it's going to be a really good fight between them two, especially for the title. I'm not too sure whether it comes down to the final day of the season like this past season just gone, but for me, I think there's just I don't know, I think if it comes to a point in the season where Champions League is more achievable at winning than the Premier League, I do maybe see Emma Hayes' side switching over to the Champions League focus rather than the Premier League. But obviously Emma Hayes' side won't ever put their tools down without a fight until the last kick of the ball, or until it is mathematically impossible for them not to win the title. And I think 3 years on a row is absolutely fantastic, but I think the anger and energy of Arsenal will now be there for like 3 years in a row. No one likes to see a team dominate any league that often, so I think that is what's going to change Chelsea's fortunes this season. Again, don't write them off from actually winning the title, because the depth they've got back, obviously in the back line, the midfield and the forwards is absolutely incredible, and it's definitely a title winning squad, but for me I just don't see it this season. Now, Arsenal, I do think, will be the eventual winners, finishing in 1st this season. Not much has changed in terms of players going and coming. They've only made the 2 signings as time recording, Lena Hurtig and Kaylin Marchese. Otherwise, it's a good, deep squad, and I think this now going into a full season for Stina Blackstenius. We saw what she was able to do when she came in from January to the end of the season. She looked really good after she got used to the rest of the forward line, and I think she will be really critical for Arsenal's goals this season. Obviously, we know what Vivianne Miedema will provide going forward, scoring the goals, and I think she'll turn up with more assists. And then obviously Beth Mead as well. A fantastic year last year, and I think Beth Mead will just continue to grow as a professional player and will continue just to get better and better, if that is at all possible for Beth Mead. So that's why I have Arsenal winning the league this season. Now, let me know in the comments who you think will win the WSL and the positions of every other team. And like I said at the start, make sure you are following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. And until next time, we'll see you soon.